Friday after Ash Wednesday, February 20th, 2026. My dear brothers and sisters, today the church invites us to reflect on something we often practice during Lent: fasting. But the question is not simply whether we fast, but why we fast. The readings today teach us that fasting is not just about giving something up. It is about becoming something new. It is about drawing closer to God and showing love to others. In the first reading from the book of Isaiah, God rejects empty fasting. He challenges his people, saying that true fasting must loosen the chains of injustice, free the oppressed, feed the hungry, and care for those in need. In other words, our fasting must produce love, justice, and compassion. So we must ask ourselves this Lent, what is my fasting doing for others who benefit from my sacrifice? Fasting that does not touch the lives of others becomes meaningless. But fasting that leads to charity becomes pleasing to God. Sometimes we speak of fasting as self-denial or abstinence, refusing something. But for us as Christians, fasting is not simply a refusal. It is a loving and willing offering of ourselves to God. It is choosing God above comfort. We see this in the example of Jesus Christ in the desert. He refused to turn stones into bread to satisfy his hunger. He chose obedience to the Father instead of immediate satisfaction. His fasting was an act of love, trust, and total commitment to God's will. That is the spirit of a Christian fasting. Sacrifice rooted in love. When we freely give up something, food, comfort, or pleasure, we grow spiritually. At the same time, others benefit materially. That is why our Lenten sacrifices often support those in need. What we deny ourselves becomes help for someone else. Our fasting becomes charity. So in today's gospel from Matthew, Jesus also warns us about another danger: fasting for show. The Pharisees made their fasting visible so others would praise them. But when fasting becomes about attention, it loses its spiritual values. True fasting is humble, it is quiet, it is sincere, it is done for God. Jesus also explains that his disciples were not fasting because he, the bridegroom, was still with them. So fasting is always connected to a relationship, our relationship with Christ and one another. We fast because we desire God more deeply. My brothers and sisters, we do not fast simply for the sake of fasting. We fast to discipline our hearts, to resist sin, to control our desires, and to grow in love. Fasting helps us detach from material things and strengthens us to overcome evil. It leads to spiritual maturity. And when our fasting is sincere, Isaiah gives us a beautiful promise. Our light will break forth like the dawn, and the Lord will answer when we call. So this Lent, let our fasting not be an empty sacrifice, but a loving sacrifice. Not mere denial, but transformation. Not self-centered practice, but generous love. May our fasting draw us closer to God, bring healing to others, and help us grow into the people God calls us to be. Have a beautiful day.